tomorrow's Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day in the States. I fully intend on pausing for silent reflection at 11 o'clock if possible. If I encounter any vets in the next little while, I definitely plan on thanking them personally for the sacrifices that they made. However, that is just about all I'll be doing. I respect veterans plenty, don't get me wrong, but past a certain point, going through these various rituals is kind of like going through motions. My view on things like flag pins, ribbons, and poppies is that while they probably started out as meaningful symbols, the fact is that any monkey can wear them. You know that saying, actions speak louder than words? The same applies here. I make donations to the Royal Canadian Legion when I get the chance to, because I think that making sure our veterans are taken care of and can teach their legacy to the next generation is much more important than wearing a glorified button just because people expect you to. For the record, my immediate family doesn't have any military experience I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't affected by the various wars that Canada's been involved in. My grandmother and great-aunt both had to flee their home in England during the Blitzkrieg in the Second World War. Several of my friends have had grandparents fight in World War II and/or Korea, and friends of my parents have a son who fought in Desert Storm. So anyone who completely ignored what I just said and thinks that I somehow am blind to what the military has done really doesn't know what they're talking about. This brings me to a pet peeve that I've had ever since 9/11, namely this absolutely stupid idea that if I don't support my soldiers, I'm somehow unpatriotic or a traitor or something. Now, that's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Because I support our soldiers just fine, but anybody who's watched the show for a while knows that I definitely don't support the government, and anybody who can see that YouTube channel icon in the corner of your screen can tell that I'm not exactly confident in the direction that this country is heading right now. That's not treason, alright? That's caring enough about my country to recognize that there's a problem and giving enough of a damn to do something about it. That's patriotism, not just blindly accepting whatever Ottawa or Washington does. I also find statements like this one flat out disgusting. One of the things that our soldiers supposedly fought and died for is our freedom to speak out in any form, never mind against our government. Besides, the problem in that statement is that it assumes that if you're against conflicts like the war in Afghanistan, then you are, again, against the troops fighting it. I can't speak for everyone, but personally my beef is with whoever decided to go there in the first place, given that all we're doing is replacing one group of fundamentalist warlords with another. Oh, and by the way, why hasn't anyone been that concerned with finding the guy who officially put us there in the first place? Remember him? Okay, that got a little bit off track. I apologize for that, but I trust my point is clear. Just because you likely won't see me wearing a flag pin or a poppy doesn't mean that I don't care about my country. Or its soldiers, for that matter. I just exercise my right as a Canadian citizen to care about both in my own way, and I encourage all of you to do so in your own way as well. Speaking of which, if any veterans, past or present, happen to be watching this video, thank you, on behalf of all of us. I really mean that. Enough said.